Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. Today I'm going to film a video all about what I'm carrying on my next 4-day, 3-night backpacking trip. So I have everything listed here on this awesome online tool called LYRApack.com, and I went ahead and entered in all of my stuff, and I will link this below because it is super handy if you are going backpacking. And it's just handy to see what other people are taking. I did compare it to a couple of PCT thru hikers just to get an idea of what their weight was and what their ratio was. So they break it down, you know, the big three, the tent, the sleep system, that kind of thing. And it just gave me a better idea of where I need to cut weight personally. And I will go ahead and cut weight, just not for this trip. I don't have the financial means to buy a new backpack or a new sleeping bag at this point, which is where I personally can cut a lot of weight. I can cut about 4 pounds just by replacing the backpack to a lighter weight backpack as well as the sleeping bag. So this online tool really helped me out in that sense. Other than that, it just gives you a great tool to calculate your base weights, which is really fun. So I will list what I'm carrying on this backpacking trip down below in the more info bar below, and so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. All my gear is behind me here, and you can see exactly what I've been talking about. I've linked all the products, so if you're interested in a certain product or if you want to find out more information about that certain product, you can go ahead and click that link and see the product online. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone because I'm looking at my little list on the LYRApack.com so I don't miss anything. So just to preface, so this trip is going to be super short. It's 3 nights, 4 days in the Three Sisters Wilderness. We are doing a loop around the Three Sisters, and it's about 52 miles or so. I haven't done this loop before. I've done sections on day hikes, so I'm familiar with the terrain, the weather, that kind of thing. I am doing this hike in about 3 weeks. So this is my first video in this little prep series. I'm going to show you all my gear. In the second video I will show you what food I'm taking for the 3 nights, 4 days. That'll be all my breakfast, all my lunch, all my dinner. I'll show you that, and then in the third video I will show you how I pack my backpack and just little tips and tricks. Maybe I'll show you on the map exactly where we're going, spending the night, that kind of thing. So that is the plan for this little series, and let's get into it. So before I get into the items, I wanted to just show you what I'm wearing during the day so that you know, okay, she has some clothes, all the other stuff is packed. So I have my Darn Tough socks, I'll be wearing that, and then I have another pair packed. So I have 2 socks, I have 1 sports bra, just taking 1 sports bra, it's only, you know, 4 days. I'm taking some shorts, some Nike Pro shorts, they're like spandex material, I like those best for hot weather, so I'll be wearing those, and that's about it as far as shorts. I'm not taking any other shorts. And then I'm wearing a tank top, and then I have another one packed as well. I probably could just take 1 tank top, but these don't dry extremely fast, and if I wanted to wash one, I could have another one. Or if I like spill something on it, I don't know. I'm taking another tank top. It really only weighs like just a few ounces, so that's not a huge deal as far as weight goes. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my hiking boots and these clothes. That's it. Now let's get into the big 3: the tent, the backpack, and your sleep system. So I'll start with the backpack. So I have my OSPREY Aura AG 65 liter big beast right here. This is one of my heaviest items at 62 ounces. So what I did to cut some weight off is I took the brain off of the backpack. So this usually goes on here like so. You're probably familiar, you've probably seen this backpack before. So I took the brain off. It saves me 6.6 ounces. So to me that's quite a bit. I really like the brain. There are two very huge pockets that are really convenient. But I was kind of debating with myself whether or not I should take it off or leave it on. But after taking it off and weighing it at 6.6 ounces and after calculating my total base weight, I was definitely sure that I was going to leave this off. My base weight is pretty heavy at 18 pounds, and so anything that I can take off, especially something that's 6.5 ounces, I'm going to take off. So that goes, so I'm not taking that. So it's just the backpack at 62 ounces. It has a nice, mesh storage up here. I just don't have any pockets up here. There are still pockets on the outside, so I can still store snacks and do all that. It just won't be as convenient as having the brain. But no big deal. I'm going to try it out. And then we have my tent here, my big AGNES Fly Creek UL2. This is awesome. I took some stakes out to make it a little bit lighter. So the tent with stakes and everything is 36 ounces, and then the ground cover is 4 ounces. So everything total, stakes, tent, ground cover, is 40 ounces right here. So love this tent. I don't think I'll be replacing it for anything lighter. I really like this tent. And if I'm replacing the backpack and my sleeping bag later on, before I do the PCT next year, I just don't have the financial means to replace all of that and a tent. So I'm keeping the tent. Love the tent. Okay, next we have my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag. So sleeping pad is my THERM-A-REST Neo Air XLITE in the size regular, and as you can see, I took it out of its stuff sack. The stuff sack is 1/2 ounce, and I was like, why do I need a stuff sack? I can just put a rubber band around it and keep it in this handy dandy shape. I just have to make sure it doesn't get punctured or anything like that when it's in my backpack. But I don't have anything sharp in my backpack anyway, so I don't really see it being a problem. I don't think I need a stuff sack, and it saves me 1/2 ounce. So there's that. And then we have my sleeping bag. It is the REI LYRA sleeping bag in the size regular. It is a 24-degree synthetic sleeping bag, so it's pretty heavy. It weighs 48 ounces. So that's heavy compared to a lot of the down ones that I've seen. Yeah, there's sleeping bags that I've seen. Granted, they're like over $400, but I've seen sleeping bags for about 15 ounces. So that is my goal, is to replace this guy before I do the PCT next year, because this is pretty heavy. It's super comfortable. I love it, but it's just heavy. And if I can find something that's about 2 pounds lighter than this, I think that would be a good idea. And then last but not least, for my sleep system, I have this little pillow. I have to have a pillow. It's super light at 3.6 ounces. So yeah, I have to have a pillow. So this is my little pillow. It folds up. It can, get stuffed into whatever corners of your backpack. But I have to have a pillow. Okay, so that is the big three: the sleep system, the tent, and your backpack. So that is definitely where I have most of my weight, at 10 pounds 3 ounces. That's a lot of people's base weight. Granted, I'm not a PCT thru hiker. I am not ultralight. I never really intended to be ultralight. When I bought all my gear, I just bought the gear because I wanted to go backpacking. I am just now trying to start getting into ultralight because I know the damage it did on my feet and that kind of thing when I did carry 40 pounds. Obviously with this, I've already pared down so much compared to what I was carrying last year. So I'm about 10 pounds lighter in my gear than I was last year, so that's good. That's good news. And if I can, you know, pare down 4 to 5 more pounds for next year, I think I'm golden. I'm just wary of spending a lot of money to replace gear that I already have. It's hard for me to justify, honestly. If I have something that works, but it's just a little bit heavier, I can't justify spending $400 on something that's a little bit lighter. So that's why I'm kind of just sticking with replacing the backpack and the sleeping bag. I know those are some of the most expensive items to replace, but it will give me the biggest weight loss overall. The little items here and there, ounce, you know, you can count ounces and stuff, and ultimately that does add up, but I would rather spend my money on something that can immediately cut down 2 pounds instead of tit-tatting little tiny items. So now let's get into the cook system. So we have the MSR Pocket Rocket right here. This is my stove, and I took it out of its little container because the container was 1/2 ounce. So I was like, why do I need this plastic container? I don't really, except that this is sharp, but I can always put it inside my pot, which I will get into now. So this is the GSI PINNACLE SOLOIST cook system pot thing, and it comes in this little sleeve, which you may say, okay, that's 1/2 ounce, you could get away with not carrying this, and I could. However, it not only protects the pot, which whatever, who cares if this gets scratched, I don't really care, but it doubles as a sink. So I find it quite handy to take water from whatever lake or stream you might be spending the night near, filling this up a little bit with water, and it's rubberized on the inside, so it is meant for this. You fill it up with water, and then that way you can, you know, take it away from the water source, and you can wash out your pot, and then, you know, dig a hole and dump the dirty water in there. That way you aren't washing your pot in the water source. Obviously, if you have food remnants and stuff like that, you don't want to do that in the water source. So this comes in very handy. So that is why I'm keeping this. The PINNACLE SOLOIST just folds out like this. It's a handy little handle. The lid's kind of flimsy, but whatever, it's a lid and does what it needs to do. And it's super lightweight because it's plastic. So this is empty, so it can hold a lot of stuff, like my pack towel, my lighter, and it will hold my stove, probably, as well as my collapsible mug and everything. That'll all go in here, which is super handy. So yeah, let's talk about my Sea to Summit collapsible mug. The only thing I don't like about this is the rubber kind of collects dirt. So this is my 16-ounce Sea to Summit collapsible mug. As you can see, it's super cool because it's collapsible. Like I said, it will go inside my cook pots, save space, everything like that. It's really cool, super durable, awesome. I love this piece of gear. And then I have my spoon fork combo here, so I'm taking that for my food and everything like that. And then in with this category, I just put my food bag. This is the GOBI Gear SEGSAC, which I got in my Carn box, if you didn't see that video. But this is where I'm going to be storing all my food, and like I said, I will show that in a separate video. I will show you all the food and everything that I'm taking. So, but this is the sack that I'm putting all my food in. It's a 20 liter sack, so it'll be plenty of space for all of my food. Okay, water filtration. So, as I showed you earlier on my backpack, you saw that little hose. So the hose is really hard to disconnect from the shoulder strap. These little loops are really tight, and it's such a hassle to get the mouthpiece in and out of that. So I'm super thankful that my OSPREY hydration bladder has this valve where you can disconnect. So I just disconnect the hose and I can take the bladder out, which is awesome because I have my Sawyer squeeze filtered inline here, and then I can just fill up the bladder in the lake or the river or the stream or whatever, and then I can just put it back in, clip this hose back together, and drink. I don't have to mess with the long hose and everything like that. So, and if I wanted to disconnect this from the Sawyer, I just twist this off too. So if I didn't want it dangling, I can just twist that as well. So this is my hydration system, my filtration system, and everything in one, which is super awesome and super handy. Okay, now we'll get into clothing. I already showed you what I'm wearing while I'm hiking. I have two Outdoor Research water resistant stuff sacks right here, and I always have two, and I found that really handy last time I went backpacking to have two. So the small one has all of my small items. So I have my buff, I have my underwear, I have a wool hat, and then I have my sleep clothes. So this small stuff sack just basically has all of that in it. And then my big one has my puffy coat. And again, all of this is listed below, so if you want to see the brands and everything. Puffy coat. I have a long sleeve shirt. And have some long leggings in case it's cold while we're hiking. I have, like I said, extra socks, one pair, and then an extra small tank top. So all of that gets stuffed in here. And then the only thing I don't have with me that I have listed on the Lighter Pack website link is my raincoat, Outdoor Research. I did order it online. It's an Outdoor Research Helium 2. It's 5.5 ounces, so it's super lightweight, and it folds down like really tiny, like this big. So that will probably not go in here. That will probably just live somewhere in my backpack stuffed down. Okay, now let's talk about toiletries and first aid. So I have this Eagle Creek packet system. It's just it's really handy little thing, and has 3 different pockets. So in this pocket I just have my toothbrush, like a foldable toothbrush, toothpaste, and some like hair ties. And I love this because it's super organized. And then in this little outer pocket I just have all my first aid. So I have some like ibuprofen, I have nail clippers, band-aids, Neosporin, and then I also have packed my THERM-A-REST Neo Air Patch-It kit. Since I did take it out of its stuff sack, this normally lives in the stuff sack, so I've just put it in with my first aid, just in case I need to patch a hole. In the main compartment here, I just have all of my personal things. So I have sunscreen, I have some tape, which is great for blisters. I do have my knife in here, my foldable knife. I have a couple of these mosquito repellent wipes, the Naturapel wipes, and then I do have some Purell, whatever, those hand sanitizing wipes as well. So, oh, and I have chapstick with SPF. So all of that lives in here. So it's my first aid, my toiletry, basically everything, which is awesome. I love that little kit. Okay, now let's talk about electronics. So I, again, have one of these small Outdoor Research water resistant little stuff sacks. This came in a set of 3. So it's these 3 came in a set, I think, for $16. They're really durable, but super lightweight stuff sacks. I really like them. And this is my electronics bag. I have my Black Diamond Cosmo headlamp here. I love this color for some reason, the gray and teal. there's that. And then I have, unfortunately, because I'm using the camera that I'm filming on, it has to be charged quite a bit. It loses charge pretty quick because I film on it a lot, and so I have the Anker 20,000 milliamp hour charger here. So this is a beast. And I wouldn't necessarily carry this if I did not have a YouTube channel. I don't think I would carry this big of a beast. It's 12 ounces, this thing, so it's quite heavy. But yes, it lives in there. Then I have the I have the phone cable for the phone, charging my iPhone, and then I have the cable for charging the camera that I'm filming on as well. So that can be charged via the Anker. And then all that I have left in here are just some SD cards, some extra SD cards. So that is my electronics bag. There we go. Last but not least, it's the miscellaneous items. So let's just go down the list. So we have mosquito net. By the time we go, sorry, it's really bright out. I'm like squinting. But by the time we go, I don't think there will be many mosquitoes left, but I'm bringing this just in case. We have my hat, my sun hat. I don't really enjoy hats that much, but you know, after you have not washed your hair for 3 days, a hat is sometimes nice. And where we're going, there's certain sections that are pretty sun exposed, so a hat is nice to have. Next we have my map. I'm taking the map of the area that we're going to. There are a lot of trail intersections on this loop because it's not just a loop. There's day hike trails and trails to all these different trails. So there's a lot of intersections and we don't want to take the wrong trail. So map is super important. Then we have my pack towel. I just have the small one. Yeah, it's super small. This will be good for just, you know, drying off, washing my face, that kind of thing. If I need to wash my arms, armpits, it's just a small towel, and these dry super fast. And next we have my DEUCE of Spades trowel, which is super lightweight. It's 0.6 ounces, so it's super lightweight. Love this thing. It's gonna be super handy. The only thing is it's a little sharp, like when you grab it, and I don't know. I think it'll work really well. I haven't tried it yet because last year I went with a different trowel, so I got this in my Karen box as well. So I can't wait to try this out. Then I did decide to take my THERM-A-REST pad. It's 2 ounces and it's super, super handy. Especially where we're going, it's either really, really dusty or it's gonna be rocky. So in either situations, it'll be nice to have something to sit on when you're eating dinner or just if you wanna sit. So I am taking this. I know it's like a little luxury, but I think I will really like having this. And last but not least, I got my camp shoes here. These are just some Crocs, the Bea slides, I think they're called, Bea slides. I could just take flip-flops. These are a little heavier than I thought they were going to be. I got these online, so I really had no idea how heavy they were going to be. But they are lighter than anything else I could find that is like a slide-on shoe. They weigh 8.9 ounces. So the only thing like a lot lighter are like the Teva flip-flops. But I had flip-flops last year on my trip, and I didn't like not being able to wear socks with my camp shoes. So this time, this is why I'm bringing these, because I can wear socks. And especially if there's mosquitoes and stuff, you want to be wearing socks, or if it's a little colder in the evening, you want to wear socks. So that's why I'm taking these. They are a little heavier, but I couldn't find anything lighter that I could wear socks with. So, and that is it. That's all I'm taking. I know it's a lot, but whether you're going out for, you know, 2 or 3 nights or 10 nights, besides the food, your gear is pretty much going to be the same. So while it may seem like a lot of stuff for a 4-day trip, this is pretty much exactly what I'll be taking when I go on my Oregon PCT trip next year as well. Besides maybe a little altering on the clothes and the weight of the gear, it is pretty much what I would carry going on a 10-day, 15-day trip as well. So stay tuned for my next video. It'll be all about what food I'm carrying, what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on all 4 days. And the following video will be all about how I put all this and the food into the backpack. And I'll show you the route that I'm taking. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for those 2 videos. Just a reminder, if you want to see amazing photos of the places that I go on my day hikes as well as on my backpacking trips, make sure to follow me on Instagram. There's always a link below, and that is really where I post all of my awesome, amazing photos of all the places that I go. So thanks again so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the next adventure. Okay, bye.